kinds of coils that the machine uses. This is a round coil which you put on the component like this for heating the component. This is the component and this is the coil. So by putting this inside, you can heat this surface by using a components into the round coil. There are many types of coils. For example, you want to put a component like this, which is being put inside here into the coil. This end of the coil is connected to the main machine. So machine, there is hollow inside, so water go in, cool, and then come out. So it becomes easier for maintaining the temperature here and heating this component through the coil. Now, for example, flat components you cannot put into this and heat well, so you use a flat coil. This flat coil will use this kind of a flat file to heat. So you put it in like this and heat the component. This is a squarish coil, and you can put the component like this inside and heat the component. Similarly, for having flat components like this, for example, you can use a coil which is designed like this, and you can put the component in through the coil to heat up. Of course, you have to make a fixture to hold the component so that you don't get heated, and you heat the component through the square rectangular piece and put the component inside. Now, for example, heating the surface, you use a flat coil which is like this, and you want to heat the surface of the hammer. This surface, you can bring in a coil which will heat like this. For example, to heat, you will bring the component near the coil, or like this, and it will heat this area of the hammer. To harden this area of the hammer, once you have hardened and poured, it will become heat treated. There are different designs. For example, you have a coil like this, which you can put into a round component, put it inside, and then heat it from here. So it heats the inside of the component by putting the coil in like this. Then you have a component like this, or a coil like this. You can put a bar in, a bar. A bar is something like this. There is another design of the coil, which is a specially designed coil. This coil can heat a vessel by putting it inside here, and you have a cooling to heat up the component by putting the component into this type of a design. You have a coil which is of this diameter. Then the component of this type can go in easily and should leave a space between the component and the coil at least 2 to 3 millimeter. If the component and the coil difference is less than 2 millimeter, the machine may not start. For example, you have a coil like this which is smaller than this coil. The diameter is small. So if I try to put this component inside here, the gap is less than 1 millimeter. So maybe the machine won't start. To have a better efficiency, you should have a diameter which should easily go into the coil and have 2 to 3 millimeter gap between the component and the coil. We demonstrate the method of heating the surface of the component and through heating of the component. This coil, for example, can be used for heating the component through by passing the component like this through the coil. Now if it goes heat through the coil, and you can put the quenching water here, then it can harden very easily and better hardness can be achieved. So flat coil like this can be used for using a component through the coil.
Quenching.
Or this process is quenching or heat treatment to harden the component. Now you want to heat only the surface of the component and quickly. So you can use a coil like this to put the coil like this and move it across to heat only the surface part of the coil.
Okay.
Are recording?
Yeah, you can introduce.
This is the method for using for making the coil with flare from here. This is a flare which
flare.
connects to the machine,
Yeah.
and the nut is tightened here. We are now demonstrating a normal tube here which will be flared at this end like this.
Yes.
To flare the tube, it's called flaring. You must hold the tube into the tool like this, which is called a flaring tool. You hold it and then now you
Make
put
it.
this device here, which is a flaring tool, again into the coil. You see this one going in, and you just flare it, and this one is changing its shape. This change in shape is expanding the tube into the circumferential direction. So when you press this and it changes the shape,
这个没加，
tooling is okay.
这个没加
去看一下。
然后用
Like this, now it is flared.
OK， 好，就这样就可以。
Like this one is flared into this shape.
Okay.
So you hold it and put the piercing tool and
Yeah.
move it and make it into this shape.
By special tool.
By a special
tool.